Most horror movies are usually based on something supernatural in order to disconnect the audience from reality, intended of course to bring you out of the real world and become immersed within things not of this world. Jaws, however, is based on something which is of this world: sharks. Director Steven Spielberg was initially creating a B-movie, however he made it so good, it turned into somewhat of a horror classic. I use the word horror very vaguely, as I don't class it just as a horror film. I see it more as a beach drama with a shark and additional horror elements. The film is based on an island called Amity Island, which is something I instantly picked up on as the word Amity seems to be used in a lot of horror-related stories, especially due to the Amityville franchise and a few other obscure horror film titles. The movie follows Sheriff Brody, who begins to link the recent chain of deaths to a shark in the waters which is claiming victims from the beach. Brody calls in oceanographer Matt Hooper in order to confirm that they are actually dealing with a shark. Brody tries to shut down the beach whilst the shark problem is dealt with. However, the mayor of the village overrules him due to the closing of the beach having an effect on the business side of things and possibly decreasing the popularity of the beach as a whole. This allows Brody to take matters into his own hands, to which he seeks the help of Quint, a local shark hunter. The film does a great job at building up the final moments where we get to see the shark. It does this by having multiple camera shots from the shark's point of view along with the Jaws theme, which in itself seems to build up a lot of suspense. Having said this, I'm not going to ruin anything in regards to the shark's appearance, but I will just say that the build-up aspects are more than effective and do justice to the final reveal of the shark itself. The final half hour of the film, where the three men are on the bow, is such a great moment in cinema history, especially the moment when they begin to sing. It's such a relaxing moment and is soon abruptly disrupted by the shark. For a 2-hour-long film about a shark, I would say that the writers did a fantastic job on the script. It's never at all boring, and that's why it's probably still so popular to this day. The dialogue in the film is mainly what makes the film so great. It manages to remain interesting as the film goes on, and contributes to the likeable characters which we become emotionally attached to as the story develops further. The film even has some spontaneous lines of dialogue, including the most famous line, "You're gonna need a bigger boat," which apparently was ad-libbed by Roy Scheider. Another reason behind the vast success of this movie is down to the globally recognised theme by John Williams. It's got that really dramatic build-up which coincides so well with what you're actually watching, and even triggers a sense of anxiety and tension as the film progresses. Even director Steven Spielberg said that 50% of the film's commercial success was down to the John Williams theme alone. Without the theme, I doubt the film would have the reputation it has today due to how memorable the theme actually is alone. The movie is based on the book, which was released a year prior to the film, and director Steven Spielberg actually had to change the characters around. This made me wonder how bad the characters actually were in the novel and how much you'd actually want the shark to win, as opposed to in the movie where you're actually rooting for the main characters due to the emotional attachment the audience has with them. The film is really great at pacing itself. It has the right amount of suspense and build-up throughout the film. The John Williams theme really does contribute to that factor, and I would say that Jaws is a pretty suspenseful film. It focuses not on what could be in the world, but what is in the world. I rate it an 8 out of 10.